Hi friends, it's Erin from 8 is Great. I'm so excited that you're here. If you are new to our channel, welcome. This is where I talk about being a mom of 6 and just kind of about my life. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I'm so glad that you're here. Don't forget to like and subscribe below so that you will be aware when we have new videos and that sort of thing. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about intermittent fasting. I have been doing intermittent fasting since November 1st. So, what's that, like 9 months or so? Something like that. I have lost a grand total of 12-ish pounds. I mean, not very much. About 20 probably since I started, but then COVID happened and I'm at home with all my kids all the time. And I'm like, yes, I want to eat 15 cookies. Absolutely. So, let's be real. That number went up a little bit. But what has not gone up at all are my sizes of my clothes. In fact, I continue to need smaller sizes. That's one of the benefits of intermittent fasting, is something called autophagy, which is basically how your cells recycle themselves and get rid of all old waste cells. And so your body is constantly renewing itself. And so there's all kinds of incredible benefits because of that, including like weight redistribution. It's supposed to help with your skin. A lot of people say that they have noticed things like with allergies and just all sorts of benefits across the board because of this great thing called autophagy. So for me, it has been very, very livable. I have loved it because I get to eat what my kids are eating. I don't have to have a special plan. There is no like, oh, well, mom can't have that because I'm on a diet, or I don't eat carbs, or well, maybe later we'll do sugar, you know, that sort of thing. It's really nice to be able to just make meals, enjoy them, and eat them with my family. As time has gone on, I have become more and more aware of what I'm eating, and I do try to make healthier choices. But if I'm being completely honest, when I first started, again, it was November, and it was almost like a challenge. Like, oh, you say I can eat whatever I want? Okay, then I see your, 2 miniature Halloween pieces of candy, and I raise you 47 Christmas cookies. Boom. And I still lost weight. My only goal, and the only reason I even tried to start this, was because I was getting close to 200 pounds, which is a number I said I would never, ever do again. And I just wanted to maintain. I knew that if I gained my typical like Christmas weight, that I would definitely be over 200 pounds by the time the new year rolled around. And so I was like, well, I'll just try this and see if it works. And it seriously was like game on. I took it as a challenge. Let me see what kind of crap can I eat. I lived off of candy and Christmas cookies and treats and Thanksgiving meals like it was my job. And I only ate them in my window, but I definitely put the whole like, you can eat what you want to the test. Now, do I feel better after I have made healthier choices with my eating? Yes, absolutely, 110%. But can you truly eat a variety of foods? Yes, you can. So the first question is timing. Timing, how long do you fast? I typically fast now between 16 and 18 hours every day. For me to lose weight, I have to fast between 18 and 22 hours every day. I have done as long as 24-hour fast. I've done that maybe 5 times. For me, I found that my sweet spot is about 18 hours. Usually, I stop eating about 5:30 or 6, and then I start eating at noon, and I eat lunch and a dinner. That is something that is totally up to you though. A lot of people see maintenance benefits or even just the overall health benefits at like a 16-hour fast, which would be 8 p.m. to noon. But most research shows that you really need to get like up to that 18-hour plus if you really are looking for like the true fat burning and body redistribution and all that kind of stuff, which again is very much what I've seen. So a couple of people have asked me, well, I do a 12-hour. Okay, that's great that you're trying to implement sometimes, but the research shows that that's really not going to be super beneficial for you in terms of actually like fat burning. So you do have to get to some of those longer fasts. In your eating window, you truly can eat what you want. It's normal within the first few weeks to kind of have this binge behavior almost. And every now and then I do still do it where I'm like really counting down, and then it's like, yes, I want 3 pieces of pie and a Coke and, you know, whatever. But you pretty quickly learn that it doesn't really serve your body well, and it doesn't feel that great. There is kind of a mental part where you're like, yes, food, but you really don't want to just like jam your body full of crappy calories, because after you've been fasting, it doesn't feel so great. You kind of get that major hit of insulin, and then you feel slumpy and gross and all that kind of stuff. So you can eat what you want. I would always advise that you open your window with some sort of like protein and some water and that sort of thing. So when you're fasting, this is the biggest part. Clean fast, which means just water, just black coffee. That's it. Not cream in your coffee, not flavors in your water. There is research to suggest, and there has been a lot of research, that even things like just putting a slice of lemon in your water, it's not about the calories. The whole fasting thing is not just a reduction of calories. That's not it at all. It's the biological and biochemical processes that are happening within your body that cause you to go into a state of ketosis where you're burning your body's fuel. Over the first couple of weeks, you'll basically burn through the insulin reserves that your body has, and then you'll get closer and closer to being able to jump like straight into ketosis every time you fast, regardless of what you're eating during your refeeding windows. So it's kind of a win-win. You get the benefits of like a low-carb ketosis, but you also are still eating carbs. Your body doesn't go into a long-term fear of like, wow, starvation or what's happening here, or even adjust to it, because you are switching up what you're eating every day. So there's so much research. If you're interested in like the biology behind it, I am gonna give you some resources at the end of this video for you to go and look. But the whole idea behind it is that you are not spiking your insulin during your fasted time. And then the other part of it is, if I'm being totally honest, y'all, like, if I'm going to break a fast, it for sure is not going to be over a piece of lemon and water. Give me a break. If I'm going to break a fast, give me a piece of cake. Like, why would I even want to push it? You know, like, some people will tell you, oh, well, it's just a couple of calories in your coffee is not going to matter. It's less than 50 or whatever. Again, you are literally putting fuel into your body, because those calories equal fuel. I don't want to use fuel from outside sources. I want my body to be burning its own fuel. That's the whole magic of all of this. And even if I do still see some weight loss benefits, like I said at the beginning of the video, my big wow has not necessarily been pounds on a scale. It has been the autophagy, the body redistribution. I am currently wearing, this is a medium, from a girl who at one point weighed 325 pounds. I cried when I fit into extra larges because there were only 2 letters on the tag. So the idea that I can wear a medium is just insane to me, insane. And it's all because of this. It has been since I started doing fasting that my body shape has just completely redistributed in a very positive way. So just black coffee, just black water. You have to be careful about some sneaky things. A lot of people won't tell you straight up what it is, but I don't care because I'm not sponsored by anybody. So, although if Starbucks wants to sponsor me, feel free. So I love this. This is Starbucks unsweetened. I like the blonde roast because I have 6 kids, and blonde roast has the highest caffeine content, which is why I drink it. If you look at the back, under ingredients, it says brewed Starbucks coffee, water, coffee. That's it. I can have this black, and I do enjoy it black very often. This is also delicious. I drink this regularly. However, now I drink this in my window only, in my eating window only, because if you notice on the back of this one, the ingredients on it say coffee, filtered water coffee, natural flavor. Natural flavor is intermittent fasting talk for it will throw you out of your fast. It will spike an insulin response. Do not waste. If you're already going to stomach black coffee, which, let's be real, nobody likes black coffee to begin with. We all have to learn how to like it. You chug it for the first couple weeks, and then after a while, you actually really do get to where you enjoy it. I promise. But nobody likes black coffee at the beginning. Why in the world would I risk spiking my insulin for natural flavors if I can't even taste it? Like, again, no. If I'm going to risk ending my fast and spiking my insulin, y'all better give me a piece of cake for that. So, in your timing, there's all different hours. You do not have to do the same hours as me. You don't have to do the same hours as your friend. And I actually don't even do the same hours every day. So some days I end at 5. Some days I end at 7:30. Some days, if we have a really late event, I'll start a timer at 9 and I will either go longer into the next day, or maybe I'll just do a shortened fast day. That's one of my favorite things about it. It really is flexible. I have done some sort of fast every day since November, with the exception of maybe 10 days. I also like it because there's no cheating. It's either you have a shorter fast day or a longer fast day, but I don't ever feel like, oh, well, I had cake, so I cheated. I cheated today. I cheated. That's diet mentality. I'm over it. I don't do diet mentality. I enjoy what I want in my eating window. But I do not sit back and be like, oh, well, I had pizza. I cheated. There's no cheat. Oh, I opened my window early. Period. I opened my window early. Like, it's not a cheat. I don't have to sit here and beat myself up mentally for it. It just means that I opened my window early. No big deal. Exercise is a question that people have asked me about. What kind of exercise have you done? I did not start doing exercise until about a month ago. And then even more so, it's been for mental health. And I have a birthday coming up next month, and it's hitting me kind of hard. And so I have all these like bucket list type items that I really want to do, and a lot of them are exercise based. But I lost most of my weight and even did the recomposition of my body without exercise. So it is very much possible to do that. And even now, I'm not killing myself. I bought a 28-day Fit Body Boot Camp Challenge, which has been amazing and really intense. But I think I've had it now for 3 weeks, and I'm on like day 11. So it's like every third day I'll do a workout video, and I'm trying to throw in some running here and there, but it is by no means a like I have to work out every single day for 30 minutes or 45 minutes or until I'm just dying. And you do not have to do this with intermittent fasting, which is really awesome. Your body will thank you for it if you keep it strong and if you continue to work out and move your muscles, because we just should. That's how God designed us to work. But it is not something that you have to like punish yourself or feel like it has to be in conjunction with extreme exercise or anything like that. Fasted workouts are going to really improve your autophagy benefits because you are literally using energy, obviously. So your body is burning through all those stores that much quicker. And then you're getting into that fat burning, that ketosis, that autophagy that we talked about. The cellular parts of it get sped up when you do exercise while you're in a fasted state. But if you can't do that, totally fine. Do it, while you're not in a fasted state. Go on a walk with your kids or with your husband. It doesn't have to be anything intense. That's definitely been a change that I have seen. When I first started, I noticed that anytime I tried to do exercise, that I was like ravenous within an hour. And so I basically kind of was like, forget this. I'm seeing more benefit from just not eating, and then I can eat what I want. So I'm going to just try and worry about making my hours each day. Now, yesterday I did like 30-minute run, fasted, and then I fasted for another 6 hours after that and had no problem. And by the time I broke my fast, I was ready and I was excited to eat, but it was not at all like, yes, finally I have to eat. It's pretty rare that I get to that point these days. I really can kind of go in and out of like, oh, okay, well, I'm about done. Yeah, I think I could eat. But it is not this like watching the clock and I'm dying and I just can't handle myself. And if I do get to where I am at that point, if I have tried to ride out the hunger, because the hunger will come and go in waves, and I'm realizing that like, God, I really am so hungry, then I just eat. like, I open my window early, and that's fine. And sometimes I adjust it on the other end, but sometimes not. It's a very, very flexible plan. I get a lot of questions. Are you starving? No, I'm not. That's what I was just talking about. And your body really does get used to it. However, it does take a little bit of time to get used to. I think it's much more mental game, even for me still, but especially as a beginner, when you are used to eating all the time, when you're used to waking up and starting your day with meals, when you're used to eating lunch with friends or whatever it is, we have been so ingrained that like 3 meals a day, you have to eat 3 meals a day plus 2 snacks, and then, you know, like every 2 hours you should be eating. No, oh good Lord, no. All you're doing is like revving up that insulin production every single time you have a taste. Like, no wonder you're always hungry, even on these diets. Have you ever been on these diets where it's like every 2 hours, make sure that you have a protein and a carb, and you're eating great, healthy, nutrient-dense foods, but you feel like you're always starving. You're counting down to that next 3-hour block or whatever it is, because you're constantly kicking up that insulin. And with intermittent fasting, what you're doing is you are eating your food, you're eating well, and you're enjoying yourself within your time period, then you're stopping and you're doing intermittent fasting for that period of time. You're basically giving your body a reset. You're giving it time to burn through all the energy stores, to tap into your fat stores and burn that, and to use autophagy. So you're literally clearing out your cells, you're restarting, you're flushing out all the toxins and everything like that. It is so beneficial for so many reasons to give your body that reset. And then you can enjoy it physically and mentally when you do. They call it refeeding, which sounds like you're talking about some sort of animal. So refueling your body when you enjoy, you know, eating again. Ketosis, it is the same kind of ketosis as low carb. Oftentimes people will pair the two. I do not. Every now and then I will, when I feel like I'm kind of getting one of those like crazy sugar monsters where I'm having a hard time saying no to sweets. But for the most part, I eat what I want, which very much includes sugars and breads and carbs. But it is the same kind of ketosis as low carb. However, the studies have shown that the way intermittent fasting works, you oftentimes will tap into like a deeper set, I don't know how to say it, but like a deeper process of ketosis. And the great thing about it is that then, because when you are eating again and you're enjoying carbs and that sort of thing, your body doesn't get used to it. Your body doesn't receive these signals saying like, oh, we're going into starvation mode, we need to freak out, or we need to worry, or we need to stockpile. It has been very, very beneficial for me, and I have tried before doing low carb for like extended periods of time, and it will work really well for the first week or two, and then it's like I just level off and I feel crabby and gross, and I don't feel like that at all with this. This has worked so well for me. Some resources. I do still time my fast. Not everybody does. What I like about it, because I don't do the same time every day, when I use an app to time it, it lets me know how long it's been. And it, in my opinion, allows me to be more flexible day to day, because if I stop one day at 4 o'clock because we just ate a really early dinner or late lunch or whatever, and then I'm at 16 hours, you know, by like 8 o'clock the next morning or whatever, it's totally different than if I go out for and post bedtime quick date with my husband and we get ice cream somewhere and I'm closing my window at 9 p.m., you know? So it helps me be flexible day to day. I have used multiple apps. There's an app called Life, there's an app called Zero, and there's an app called Fastic, and they all have their different pros and cons. They are all free. I've never paid for any of the apps. The Fastic one I do really like, because you can like partner with other people and be friends on it, and so you can see other people who are fasting, which to me is a benefit and an encouragement of like, oh, well, this friend of mine has gone 14 hours, so then I can go farther. But I also found that it made me want to lie about how long I've been going, or like if I wanted to open early, I didn't feel, sorry if you guys hear that, I'm sitting outside in case you didn't notice, there's somebody, and there's my husband right there. So anyways, it made me want to be like, no, I didn't open early. I totally did my like 20 hours that I said I was going to do. Instead of just being honest. And the truth is, the apps are supposed to be to help you. So if you find that it's kind of negative peer pressure to have buddies, you might do better with one of the other apps. Life is a really great one because it tells you a lot about what's going on in your body while you're fasting. And then Zero is very simple. They have added some of those features as well to their program, and that's the one that I got started on. So all of those are great resources. I started out by listening to the podcast Intermittent Fasting podcast. It's with Jen Stevens. And honestly, I listened to the podcast for probably 6 months before I actually read a book on it, if I'm being completely honest. There's fantastic information on the podcast. It's free. The Intermittent Fasting podcast with Jen Stevens. But since then, I have read 3 phenomenal books to really truly learn. It almost was like this realization of, wow, this really is working for me and long term, and I'm seeing major changes. Like, maybe I should actually learn why this is working. What's the science behind it, and how can I tweak it to be even more effective for myself? And so I have Audible. I have a subscription where I get like 2 books for $20 each month, something like that. So her newest book that just released last week, actually, it's phenomenal, is called Fast, Feast, Repeat, and that's by Jen Stevens. Again, it is a great book. It tells you a huge overview. It has the most up-to-date resources. I blew through it and loved it and learned so much from it. And again, I have been doing this for almost a year now with some pretty intensive studying into it. So I feel like I had a really good knowledge base and still learned a lot. Her first book is called Delay, Don't Deny, which is the whole premise of all of this. You do not have to deny yourself the things that you want to eat, just delay. Eat them a little bit later. And I can so get down with delaying gratification than just being like, no, I'll never have sugar again. Yeah, that didn't happen. So Delay, Don't Deny, again, by Jen Stevens. She is a teacher from Georgia. Teacher from Georgia. So obviously there's a little bit of a heart connection there. But that's another thing that I really love about her. It's just like me. She does have a lot of knowledge now because she's researched everything, and made herself very knowledgeable. But initially she was just another mom, another woman who was done and who was fed up with feeling so frustrated and had tried all the diets. She's very open in her books about what she's done and what she's tried and what worked and didn't work, and how she came to find out about intermittent fasting, and then from there how she's educated herself. But I feel like it's presented in such a way that not only do you understand what's happening with your body and you understand why it's beneficial for so many reasons, but it's a great reminder that you're not alone, that we have all struggled in this place of like, but I just can't do low carb forever. I just can't get up and do insanity workouts for 2 hours every day. And I just, it's this moment of like, how do I make this livable? Surely there's an option. So her books are both phenomenal. And then there's another one called The Obesity Code by Dr. Fung, who is basically all of the science part of intermittent fasting. So if you want to know the nitty gritty, the down and dirty, I have a dual major from undergraduate, and one of my dual majors was biochemistry. So for me, I loved learning about all the science behind it and what is actually going on in my body and why is this working so well and how are my cells reacting to this, really, like what happens, and why is it so beneficial. So those are all phenomenal resources. There is a lot of other options here on YouTube. There are also options where you can go like on Facebook groups and things like that. I would just be very wary, again, because a lot of people will say that you have to ascribe to a certain eating style along with intermittent fasting. That's not true. If you feel best Doing low carb and intermittent fasting, fantastic. If you feel best doing vegan and intermittent fasting, fantastic. But you do not have to just eat a certain way. The only certain way you have to eat is within a time slot. And then the other thing is the clean fast. I'm telling you from someone who has done it, because I kept the stevia in my coffee and like, it's not that bad. There's only a couple calories and it's all natural. And I kept the, wow, y'all, there's a little hummingbird that just came over here. Anyways, that's really sweet. It makes me think of my mom. She loves hummingbirds. Sorry. Kept all the stuff in my coffee for a while and really tried to hold on to it. But I'm telling you, I was ravenous. When I finally went over to the clean fast, when I wasn't spiking that insulin all the time, it was such a difference. I really could make it 20 hours, 22 hours, 24 hours, no big deal. Also, when I say that, I don't mean that I'm going an entire day without eating. It's more like maybe I'll eat at 4 o'clock one day and have a big old dinner, and then I'll fast until 4 o'clock the next day. Or a couple times when I've done it, it's been like 1 p.m. to 1 p.m. kind of thing. If I had like morning events and we ate a lot in the morning, then I would go ahead and just close my window and then fast until lunchtime the next day. So 24 hours isn't as scary as it seems when you say it like that. Couple questions I did get about moms and breastfeeding. In her book, The Fast, Feast, Repeat, Jen does talk about that, and that it's just not recommended. And again, the benefit and the awesomeness of intermittent fasting is that you are tapping into that autophagy. You're recycling your old cells. You are getting rid of waste and reproducing new stuff. I don't know that that's something that I want to do while nursing, you know? So intermittent fasting will be there when you're done nursing, when your baby is weaned. Take this time and just embrace it. And as a mom who's been there 3 times, I know when you're like, but you don't understand, I'm still carrying this around and I just feel awful in my own body. And it will be there, and it's a phenomenal tool. But pregnant or nursing women, it's not recommended for. Obviously, if you have a history of eating disorder, I would be very aware of your behavior in regards to intermittent fasting. It's not usually something that it can be beneficial, but that's more, you know, you would know where you are in your history with that and in your growth from that. But aside from that, it is a phenomenal tool that can literally be used by anybody. And what I love about it is not only is it accessible and is it easy, you're simply not eating. That's it. You're drinking water. You're drinking black coffee. That's it. It is free. It's free. I have purchased 3 books on Audible. And like I said, I paid $20 a month. So $30 is what I've spent for all of this. And that was only 6 months into it after it was already working and benefiting me. There are 1,000,001 free resources out there. You do not have to buy special bars or special meals or special foods or anything like that. You do not have to mix up another protein shake and choke it down and hope that it doesn't solidify before you get through it if you do not want to. If that is your bag, go for it and enjoy it in your window. But it doesn't cost anything. You're too busy, guess what? Intermittent fasting is perfect. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to meal plan. You don't have to grocery shop. It's a whole lot easier. You're too poor, you can't afford to get healthy. Guess what? It's perfect, because not only does it not cost anything, it actually will save you money because you're not eating as much each day. You're saving money on groceries and things like that. Your lifestyle is too overwhelming, it's too hectic, it's too, like, it fits into any lifestyle for any person. It is so beneficial for so many reasons. Truly, I cannot say enough about it. So if I did not answer your questions, feel free to ask them, comment below, and I will try my best to answer them. This is all based off of my experience. I am not a medical professional. I do not have any sort of licensure or anything like that. No formal study aside from, like I said, I know about biochemistry from college, but this is all my research and my experience, and my experience has been phenomenal, and I am in Facebook groups and online communities and things like that with literally hundreds of thousands of others with the exact same experience who are saying, I cannot believe the like holy grail of health that I have found through intermittent fasting. So that has been my experience. I wish you the absolute best of luck. If there's anything that I can do to support you and encourage you, please let me know. I hope this was informative and helpful. I know it was kind of long, but there's just so much good stuff. And there's a wealth of information out there. So feel free to look for it on your own. So I hope you guys have an awesome night, and I will see you next time. Bye, friends. Have a great night.